Because men at the moment, Merseystate.
The father-son relationship can be a tricky one, particularly should that father have not only one, but two sons, both of whom want to follow where the Beatles led. So even when Shy and Wayne of Merseystate hit the charts, they didn't exactly expect Dad's resistance to melt, until the day he volunteered to build their new studio.
Wayne Joshua began playing piano aged 6. 7 years later, his brother Shy took up the drums. The grandsons of a renowned drummer, they've both been through several bands, but with the Merseystate lineup and their new studio, all the pieces fell into place.
All right, so Merseystate is a new band, but your roots are old, aren't they?
It's Merseystate started with Wayne and I playing music from a young age on a broken 4-string guitar. And over the years, just building it up, playing together in many different settings, and along the way, picking up Jason, Rob, and the other members, and forming the band that we've always wanted to have.
Siblings working together is usually a recipe for disaster. How come that's not the case for you?
I think that for us, the common denominator is our music, and we are actually very different.
Wayne's very much into his gadgets, camera stuff. You know, he's into his computers, iPods, all that stuff, and I'm just into, like surfing and...
Keyboardist Jason and bassist Rob also feel at home here.
I think that's what gives a band its unique sort of flavor, really, is that you get a whole lot of musicians coming from different musical backgrounds.
I've played many different genres of music, and this does culminate a whole lot of them, and they're good songs, and they're such honest sort of forms to express these things I've learned.
The bar at their new Dreamscape Studios is about to open to the public, and given that they're mostly in studio, they're only half joking when they say it brings a social life to them.
Let me take you guys upstairs and show you around where the real work gets going.
All right, this is your spot.
This is my spot. This is my drum kit, styled on a Ringo Starr style drum kit.
This is the vocal booth. This is where I lay melodies over what Shy's done after he's done it. Mm-hmm. So should I sing for you?
Yeah, please go ahead.
I'll give you a little verse.
Bring it on.
How many roads must a man take? How many minds can time break? How many wars can we fight till we lay down our guns and say...
I have no idea. How many times does a man walk down before you can call him a man? I think we need to sing it to the people who can.
With 4 #1 national radio hits under their previous band name Fahrenheit, these are people who can. But it was when their entire stock of equipment was stolen while on tour 2 years ago that they decided to build a more solid foundation. And so the studio was born with blessings and able hands from a surprising quarter.
As I understand it, your father had a hand in building the studio.
Well, every kid's dream is to become a rock star and do the rock and roll thing, and parents are quite skeptical when their kids get into these things. Sometimes there's a fad, they do it and they get out of it. So after many years of hard work, I think my father looked at it as a sign of acknowledgement and built this desk for us. And that was a very special moment for us because we really knew then he was behind us.
When darkness builds around us and all is overrun, believe in silver lining and the brightest lights will come.
All your lyrics are very deep, emotional. Where do you get your inspiration for your music?
The main thing that inspires our music is everyday occurrences, the world right now, especially now with the economy and, the way things reflect in nature, and it shows that we're all so connected all at one time. One of our songs called Say, 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 it ponders about could we change, could we evolve, could we go more green, and could we save our planet? It's at the moment, if you don't know, there's a crisis in the world with bees, and I would say that's a reflection of nature on the power struggle, and bees disappear, humans go as well.
Be it social or environmental awareness, the message always gets through better when put to music. Plus, it's more fun. And though Jason is a jazz lecturer at UCT, with Rob a respected session singer and live tour musician, they're in the band because they're good human beings. And like the brothers and guitarist Gorm, they're equally up for hits and giggles.
Okay, well, I will just take 2 out before I go for the whole lot, just to give you guys a chance as well. What's the competitive nature like away from your music?
You know, Wayne and I are very competitive, but when it comes down to it, Wayne will let me win a little bit in the beginning, you know, whatever we're doing, whatever we're competing at each other against, and then at the end he'll, you know, kind of take it, scorpion tail me.
Scorpion tail!
It was the spirit of competition which, amongst other factors, drove apart two of their favourite bands, the Beatles and the Police.
Now when you're touring, you spend a lot of time together, which means you have to gel really well as people, do you?
Definitely. I mean, we're a band already that we can do a rehearsal and end up not rehearsing, but just hanging out and talking and carrying on like that, which is sometimes almost more important than how you get on in a musical sense. It comes through the music. It definitely shows.
It's like a relationship, really. You also have those days where you have to get a certain amount of patience.
With a name inspired by the legendary Mersey sound of their heroes, this foursome are making music to equal their name.
Is this the band you always dreamt about?
I've been in many bands now, and Merseystate is the one I've wanted to create and be in. So far, it's outshined my expectation of what it could have been. It's much nicer with the dynamic of the individuals, and my favorite person in the world, my brother, Shai.
What do you say, Shai?
Likewise, definitely. Right back at you, kid.
Having scored a sizable strike with their new album in Europe, they've now released locally. And with a tour abroad planned for 2010, that album title, The Lucky Ones, may be a happy and most prophetic choice.